Everybody, wanted to talk to you today about the new or fairly new Crispi Briksdal. So it was introduced in the North American market last year in 2017, and it's a bit of a mountaineering style boot. Of course, has the lace to toe lacing system, as you can kind of see there. It's a lightweight boot. Sorry about that. I just got mine in today and wanted to share my initial kind of unboxing experience. I mean, I've already unboxed them obviously, but I just wanted to kind of give you some quick feedback, as there's not a whole lot on this boot out. They're carried by blackovis.com. That's BLACK, and then the second word OVIS.com. Really great customer service there for Black Ovis. Really like those guys. Have had great luck with them. They also run the site Camo Fire, which is a they have the quick hitting stuff that's a daily special. So, and every now and then they'll throw a Crispi boot on there too. So look into both those guys. Very friendly, great customer service. So anyway, more about this boot. They supposedly stiffened it up a little bit this year. I had seen reviews where I didn't think it was particularly, I was worried that it wouldn't be particularly stiff for a light mountaineering boot. And that seems to be the case, at least for me. I'm like 6'2.5", 225, probably closer to 230 pounds right now. Not really in mountain shape here in May, but anyway, I flex these boots pretty easily. If you're lighter weight, you probably you might not flex them as much. So the good thing is they have a newer version of this boot, and if you've seen the 2017 version, it was an all black boot with red laces and a little bit of red trim on the sole, like where these are kind of gray. That they were red on the sole. This is the standard Briksdal. Wanted to try it first. Some boots can be a little too stiff for me. I like a stiff boot for mountain hunting, but I have a flat, low volume foot, and my heel doesn't stay put very well. The great thing about this boot is that it's got a nice narrow heel. For those of you that have had issues with mountaineering boots or stiff boots in the past, this might serve your needs. As is, it's a well-structured boot. It's got Crispi has, and you can see right here that the ABSS is their ankle bone support system. It's just really good ankle support. I've had two other pairs of Crispi boots, and the ankle support's been very good in them. I still have one. I sold one of them just because it was a little bit more of a light duty boot. Wished I hadn't. It'd been a great all around boot. But anyway, so they make a fantastic fitting boot if you're slightly narrow, maybe. My foot's not overly narrow, but it's certainly low volume. I have kind of a skinny foot, so that's a issue for a lot of us out there. This boot I think can expand nicely for a D-width, full D-width person with a high volume foot, high ankle support. I think it'd be fine for you. Not sure for a wide width. I don't think it would work for that. For you low volume people like me, this is generally my answer, is a sole insole. There's a lot of good brands of aftermarket insoles. This one certainly has a high arch in it, and I don't really have, I've got a fairly flat foot, but once you get used to them, these things make all the difference in the world. This is the Ed Vesters sole insole. So might be an option for you while we're talking about that. That's why I have this stuck out. This is the the standard Crispi insole. It seems to be slightly improved from some of their other boots. It's still pretty flexible. Certainly would offer some warmth. It's kind of a felt. Let me see if I can get this to focus. It's kind of a felt, but yet has a kind of an aerated structure there in the orange layer that would move a little air. It's certainly soft in this orange layer, as you can kind of see my thumb press down pretty easily into it. But comfortable, and it's not bad even for me, where I've gotten where I don't like anything without much structure. So it's fine. However, I would always end up going to another insole. And like I said, these Sole branded, SOLE branded insoles work well for me. A lot of people like the Super Feet. They just don't work great for me for whatever reason. So that's kind of my 2 cents worth. There's not a lot of structure in those, but they're certainly well made. So let me put the camera on the floor here real quick, and I'll give you a little idea on the flex on these boots, and show them off a little bit better. Okay, thanks for your patience while I did that. Hopefully the camera mount holds. So anyway, just to show you the flex in them, I'm doing this, not really cranking on them that much, but that may be ideal for you. A lot of people are going to like that. To me, I like a little bit stiffer. I'll give you some comparisons here in a minute. My go-to boot and another boot I don't have a love-hate relationship with. I like it. It's fairly warm, but good ankle support, but it's not my go-to boot. So anyway, I'll mention this quickly. This has about 200 grams of Thinsulate. I believe it's Thinsulate as the insulative layer. You can see the insole in there. It's denoting the ABSS right there on the collar, and then that's a European 46, which is a size 12.5, if that matters, if that gives you any perspective on the boot itself. Of course, they're Gore-Tex, and the lacing system, they call it asymmetrical. It has a little bit of an S curve in it, so it starts a little bit more to the inside and then rolls over here to the outside. Of course, you got a locking lace here at the ankle, and then it's got another, it's almost hidden here, you've got another lacing loop if you wanted to use that. I thought I would use that, but right now it doesn't seem like that I'm going to need it. And I'll say this while I'm thinking about it is, I'm probably going to send these back, even though I like them. It's got a nice rockered sole. I'm going to go with the stiffer version, which is the 2018. And again, this is the 2018 regular Briksdal. The Briksdal SF is the stiffer version. They call this a 4 flex, and then which is their second to stiffest boot, and then the next one is a 5 flex, which is the stiffest boot, at least in North America, for Crispi. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. It is a black boot with orange trim. You can see these have a little bit of orange trim on them, but it'll be all black. The laces will be orange, and then I think back down here on your inserts, your EVA inserts, will be orange. And then I believe that's right. It's a dual density, and I believe the black, let me see real quick, which is, now maybe the black is the EVA, and then the gray is the polyurethane. So either way, EVA doesn't last quite as long, but it's more absorbent. The polyurethane is a little stiffer. the new boot, or excuse me, the SF, may be all polyurethane. Not sure. I don't have the specs right in front of me. So again, biggest thing for me, if you're a mountain hunter or a mountaineer, I mean, this is basically a mountaineering boot, may work for you. It's not quite stiff enough for a lot of people, even though it's a mountaineering style. It's actually fairly high. It comes up nice and tall, gives me a lot of ankle support. I like that. Another thing you'll notice is this is kind of a, oh shoot, it's in the, so many of the jackets these days, the soft shell, the soft shell tongue. And of course it's Gore-Tex lined, but so it gives you a little bit more flexibility. Not sure that I love the idea on the on that material for the tongue, but I'm just kind of a leather guy, but it seems fine from what I can tell. And I've heard that you can feel the temperature difference, and I think that's coming from Kendall, who's the owner of Black Ovis, and he's also those guys also own Crispi USA. The original distributor had some issues, and they took over, and again, those guys are first class all the way. So, but he talked about feeling the temperature difference crossing water or wetlands. You know, marshy areas, being able to feel. He thought the boots were leaking, but they actually weren't. So, and I've had experience with that with actually one of the other boots I'm going to show you here in a second. So, anyway, again, Crispi Briksdal. There is a little bit more information. Again, it's the brand.